Jole tureke, minata se kujole masake, ala le nota. Ture mande muri, kuma mande muri.
Maman a de la IPCA, le maquis chez AD, la plus belle. Kiki Dali, Dieu Seigneur, à ce moment ça. Rachel de Kibo, chez AD. Stefan Soko, Stefan Soko ya kwa prawa aya godo nyaliba amana vere kasawa amagrika vere titi kwa papa vere sa seri peke ayo yike banyo yesi grega mapa sisi la play oye la godo nyali are banyo e kwa prawa hey godo nyali awo Taba sinze wo arena velini baka Taba sinze wo arena velini Waye ale na yu ya koro bravo Abide godo nyali Yozo made jokure Pamro ayo Ade wa ba bere wa sabake wa ba bere Ambawe mabani Ama Ababe mabani Abara suba bila bayo Abina mika bele titi baba Ata tubo ababe mabani Ana mabani Bayi babe mabani Ni agiji galio alegio Bamro bani be mabani Siza fuku ade alegio Ade babe mabani Ni agayi do Ade bani be mabani Obe na baya gresa eba Ama ade babe mabani Babe mabani Ama mabani Waye rentrer ici, hein. Il faut les devant. Tu n'es pas conscient, moi je suis conscient. Asaka, 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 Asaka.
it poppin'. We not build good, we can make it happen. We not been long, yeah, but we can keep it poppin'. I go, back then I go. Alcohol in the building's on me. Back then alcohol in the building's on me.
Angane mbeyo, kwenye borusu kuona verio. Oji besa yo, nukuro borusu kuona verio. Angane mbeyo, kwenye borusu kuona verio. Angane mbeyo, nukuro borusu kuona verio. Angane mbeyo, nukuro tape makuria, wakwa ya seba. Onana ayama nukuro mwane sikuro mwa yepoza ne kriku ya mwereu. Nukuro toriye borusu ku. Suku ogere yo, amaya nukuro kete swado itidoro.
Good evening, folks. Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. I want to thank all of you again this evening for joining us. We're going to be rocking it here. Hopefully, we will be allowed to rock it here tonight. And the apparatus itself that we're using will allow us to do what we do best. Thank you, folks, for joining us again this evening. Liberian Public Radio, there's been some real amazing things. Quite recent, of course, you saw the coverage over there in the Liberian Journalist Convention, where Liberia Public Radio was on air and able to carry it all the way through. And we say thank you. We appreciate that, folks. We thank you very much. One other thing I want to point out here very quickly before I move on to other subject matter. Liberian Public Radio, as you know, we've been on air for quite a while now. We were radio, internet radio, for almost 11 years or so. And now we're on to Facebook as I'm speaking now. And if you go to YouTube or go to Liberian Public Radio Facebook, I mean not Facebook, but Liberian Public Radio page, the internet page, you will be able to see me there. So we're streaming all places here tonight. And this is what the leadership have asked us to do, and we'll continue to do that. But I also want to tell you, the audience, those of you that come out here, not that you don't have anything to do whenever we open these podcasts and what have you. I'm not the only person. There are other many Liberians. In fact, people have said Facebook is so good to Liberia, it's unbelievable. It seems like Liberia daily activities is being run on Facebook, so we appreciate that. But folks, those of you that continue to watch us, we appreciate it. There's no question asked. We appreciate what you do for us, because by watching us, you encourage us to do more. But we'll also ask you to be responsible. Liberian Public Radio page is open. We have people who are friends with Liberian Public Radio who are connected. You can go and post things on there. But all we ask is that you be responsible on things you put on other people's pages, because these things affect their activities with Facebook itself. Because if you put something that is not decent, decent stuff on other people's page, not every time that these things comes out, we're gonna go start policing here and there, and Facebook frown on those kinds of stuff. So I'm just asking you to please do all of us a favor. That if you're going to put something on Liberian Public Radio, let it be decent, something that you and your family would like to watch. Don't put things that are not, you want to do those kinds of stuff, put it somewhere else. But Liberian Public Radio, it's a forum where people come to discuss issues, where people come daily to have expression of themselves and also of the issue that is affecting them daily. So by us doing these things, none of us getting paid, to be honest with you. We do these things because we love doing it. And we don't mind doing it. Some of us, I just came from work. I'm on air here. Alfonso going to do the same thing tomorrow. He's going to come on air. And we're not dying people's eyes for anything. We do these things so that at least we will be able to inform you. Whatever little information we have, we pass it on to you, so that we will be able to have some sort of interaction. But if the page itself that we claim to be an intellectual page is being assaulted by people putting in things that are not decent, then I think you're defeating the purpose. Okay, we're not against or for anything. We are just here to pass on the information. Now, there are certain times we will come to express our opinion, which I do every night when I come on air. Whatever that I express is my opinion. This is a commentary from Samson Toll. I'm not asking you to accept it. You can do the best thing you can do. Is, you know what, Samson, I just not only do I not agree with you, but I don't even want to watch it. And there's nothing I can do. I have no policing power. I can't force you to watch me. But at the same time, if you're going to leave off the page, which is okay, but there are other Liberians that might want to watch us. So if you put something out here that is not decent, these things are not, they're not nice for all of us. So I just thought that I put that out there. Mr. So would do better because he's clothed with these kinds of information. He would tell the Liberian people sometime. So once that time comes, I'm sure he will express it better than what I'm doing now. But anyway, I just thought that I put that out there, folks. This is Samson Toll, LIBERIA Public Radio. All right, so let's go on. We have some topic. The topic matter here tonight is a very decent one. It's a very decent one. There are two of them, all right, and they're both in my area of engineering. So I will spend a little bit of time. I would try not to bore you with all the engineering terms and what have you. These are subject matter that have already been discussed, but I thought that I do mine from the engineering perspective as well, so that we will see how far we go with this thing tonight, okay? So stay with us as I try my best now to have this thing come on so that I can hear myself. All right, let's go. My bars are moving up and down, so I'm sure I am being broadcast live. There's no question asked. But let's move on. Let's move on. I want to thank all of you again. As usual, before we do anything, move on with any other subject matter, let's do this as usual. Let's put in the President of the Republic of Liberia, Dr. Weah. Dr. Weah. Folks, Dr. Weah was duly elected. He didn't come to this position through the back. I don't agree with him on many things. But that does not mean that he should be forced out or somehow removed undemocratically. No, we're not going to support those kinds of stuff. Whether I like Dr. Weah, I don't even know him. He doesn't even know me. But let's decency prevail in this type of situation. All right, we're hearing all kinds of rumors, but I'm not going to go through that. Okay? So I'm just going to tell you right now, folks, Samson Toll, LIBERIA Public Radio. All right? So let's go on. That's Dr. Weah. And the other thing I want to talk about here is the a video that I'm going to be playing now also is the video of Dr. Weah during the election when Dr. Weah was walking in the mud. Soon he will soon be running in the mud. Samson Toll, you amaze me. He walked. First he was crawling, now he walking. He will soon be running in the mud. Sooner or later he will fly in the mud. Samson Toll, LIBERIA Public Radio. Sometimes I amaze myself. But anyway, let's watch this. Dr. Weah, on a very serious note during the campaign. And the question, after a few months now, after playing this, I continue to question myself and continue to question if Dr. Weah is listening. That place being fixed. I doubt it. But let's watch it. That's not about it tonight. Let's watch it.
Let's make sure you do that same thing for you can hold. Yeah, we hold it straight. You are on the shoulder rod, you must stay. We're going to junior on that before. Chong it to me.
No, I beg you.
I go Man, the Germans is still waiting for us. I think it's finished. Salome said, don't done.
Clap our money. Clap our money.
Just make sure you do that same thing for you so you can hold.
Again, folks, Samson told LeBron Public Radio, my subject matter here tonight, I told you there are two of them. The first one that I'm going to be jumping on here is the report that was brought to us here the last time by the Fire Department of the Republic of Liberia. And in that particular report, it was about the fire that killed these little young sons of ours. These are all relatives of all of us, and it was very sad. And I'll be going to the report here, and then after that, I will show you some perspective from the engineering side of things and the building design. I'm not going to bore you with all of that stuff, but I will just pick up a few points here and there, and then we can move on to the next subject matter. So let's go on. The subject here tonight, as I stated, this is the during the tragedy some time ago in Liberia, where the Muslim school was burned, and young brothers died. Future leaders of Liberia died. And Dr. Weir keeps saying this. I don't agree with him on many things, but there are certain times, and that's why I'm in this business. I like this business because at certain times that I must be truthful. And if Dr. Weir is doing something that I like, I should come out and say it. If he's doing something that I don't like, I should come out and say it. And I will demonstrate that here tonight as well. But this one here, you saw the way the leadership that Dr. Weir displays during this tragedy. He provided his shoulder to the rest of the community, to the Liberians, to say, cry on my shoulder, I'm the father of this nation. And that's the kind of leader we want. And that's the kind of leader that we like. And he displayed that, and I really appreciate that. He came to the UN and announced, once again, to say something we're bereaved and we're still hurting. And he made that announcement at the UN, which I truly appreciate as well. So, that is Dr. Weir, and you see the kids and things like that. Let me go on to the police, the fire report, the report itself. The report itself is very extensive, but I like the way the fire department explained to us, and then after that they went out to show the building itself. And all that I can do is that I will show you the burned building itself. And you can see that here is what I want to say about this. This is a tragedy, and this is not time for politics, but this is time to point out things that we need to know. For example, I was been on here for quite a while now, continue to complain that Madam Salif did not help us out. Because after the war, things were pretty much fresh. People were coming in with vast knowledge from all over. You got young people coming from Ghana, young Liberians. During the war, they escaped to Ghana, Nigeria, all over the place. So when they were coming back, some of them brought truthfulness with them. Some of them brought skills with them. But instead, Madam Salif decided to fill the gap of Liberian yearning, the fact that Liberian was yearning for leadership. She filled that gap by bringing in people that are now quite ready to lead and help move that country forward. And as a result, they were there for 12 years. And there's nothing to be on. I'm not speaking just like sedition. No, I'm telling you right now, because I've got a pamphlet here that I was reading. 25 billion went through Liberia. And there's nothing much you can see over there. Nothing. Nothing. You can say, well, the security. I keep saying to you, the security, the fact that Liberian was not in the street fighting does not mean because Elmer was there and stopping there. Liberians were just tired dying. Liberian was tired fighting. And that's what the only reason why I believe they were not in the street. And so when people displays that kinds of gratitude, you should reciprocate by also showing to them how much you love the country. We didn't see that from Madam Selly. She was able to put Liberia back on the map based, economic, debt relief and all that kind. But look where we are. Look where we are because there was no structure. I keep saying the political structure of Liberia was not there during Madam Selly's time. In fact, I can go further to say Madam Selly did not have even plan. She had no plan to come and lead our country except to say, I am, and therefore, I'll leave it as that. But let's move on. Let me now play you, because they will tell you what year the building was built. And you can't tell me that you have inspections. The only inspection we have the other day was to have food stuff fighting with a URE. Besides that, I don't see real inspection, building inspection. I don't see it because I was in Liberia and I saw people building, Lebanese people building, good building, big buildings, no parking lot. And those buildings supposed to serve public, no parking lot, none whatsoever. If you come in and the 4 or 5 parking straw they have, if they fill, you park in the street. And those are the kinds of stuff we don't have. If you're going to build something, there are building codes that require a specific building type. Okay, they call it building group. If you're building something that is grouped within a specific group set aside by the building code, you have to provide certain items in order for that particular group that you put your building in to certify that. Other than that, you get no permit, you get nothing to build. We don't have that in Liberia. Maybe they do. I just never saw that. But those are kinds of stuff that I'm going to be talking about, things I'm going to be talking about here tonight. Let's go on to the report. I know you guys have seen this report before, but like I said, I want you to look at it again, then I'll come from the other end from an engineering perspective. Let's look at it. Samson to LeBron Public Radio.
Okay, good afternoon to all. Again, we want to extend our thanks and appreciation to the Almighty God that continue to keep us alive. And to say thank you to His Excellency that gave us the opportunity to serve our people. I want to say thanks to the guardian men of the Liberia National Fire Service, our team of investigative that left from here to get the funding on the fire outbreak, and today we are here to give you full detailed report on the investigation. And members of the 4th Estate, we want to welcome you at the Liberia National Fire Service headquarters. On 15 September 2019, at about 11:50 p.m., there was a fire outbreak. From 11:50 p.m. to 12:37 a.m., in the course of 50 to 55 minutes, a call was made to the Liberia National Fire Service, Station 1, Ashmore Street, at 12:37 a.m. Upon receiving the call, Commander Victor Chile led his team to the incident scene. They got on the scene about 1:02, coming from Ashmore Street to the Pinsville Red Light, to be precise, Bassatown community. Who made the call? The call was made by Metro 2 Depot Red Light Police Station. They made a call to the station. What are we talking about? The structure we are talking about was built in 1999. In 1999, this school was built. And what kind of materials were used on the school? From our investigation, we found out that there are a lot of substandard materials that were used in building that structure. The total capacity of this structure was about 46 persons living in this building. 46 persons. The imam, family, total students, including the instructor, was 35. On the night of the fire outbreak, out of the 35 residing on the campus, 31 was present that night. 31 was present that night. And out of the 31, from our investigation, we observed that 4 survived, including the Imam family of 11, totaling the number to 15 survivors. Upon receiving a call from the investigative team, they proceeded on the scene and started their investigation on the 16th. And going through their investigation, they discovered that the fire started in the front of the house, in the first room on the right, and which of course we have a diagram of the house that you will be seeing to tell you how these people died. When they went on the scene, people asked, why is it a report has been delayed? Fire investigation is not like a criminal investigation where you see the person. We go there and we have to take the debris to come and test to know whether there was a fire play. So we discovered that the fire started in the first room, in the roof of the house. And another thing we discovered during our investigation, we found out there was a motorbike in the corridor that had gasoline in it. After the student noticed that there was a fire in the roof of the house, they all escaped to the back of the house where there is no exit. This house had one entrance and no exit. They all went at the back to their teacher, and then they were there to the teacher, not understanding that the smoke takes 10 minutes to take the life of somebody. And also it takes 10 minutes for a fire to regenerate. So in 50 minutes, we received that call. We believe that after the crew got on the scene, the entire building was already engulfed with fire. The 4 students that survived, when they discovered the smoke in the first room with the fire on it, 2 left from the entrance, and the 2 that went at the back to see their teacher made it through the fire. They ran through the fire, and you can see the boy at JFK, you will see the burn all over his skin. He went through the fire along with his friend. This is how they got severe burn. Because of their bravery, they had to save their lives. This investigation was both sent to the United States and also to Ghana for review before coming up with the funding. After a week-long investigation, we discovered that the cause of the fire is electrical shock. This building had current the night of the fire, and the supplier of current to the building is Mr. Frederick K. Brown. Mr. Frederick Brown provides current to the mosque and also to the school. And the generator used is a 30 kVA Perkins generator. Ladies and gentlemen, today we come with the final report that has been submitted to the Attorney General of the Republic of Liberia, the Justice Minister, and also copy to the acting president. We got nothing much to say to the public but to let you know that we are in deep sympathy with the bereaved family. And we say to the children, to the family, may the souls of the children rest in peace. Thank you. Before your question comes forth, I would like for you to see the structure. This is how the investigation was done. So the investigators there will explain to you how this building was looking like.
This building was constructed like this, with a fence. What I see around here is a fence. Alright. The end of the building at the right side was closed. The reason why you see this opening here is because those should have been here. An exit way. But there was no exit way on this side of the building, leading towards where the imam was living. This exit way was for the imam to get us out. But from here, all the way here was sealed. All the rooms were there with human being in it, with the exception of this room. This room had huge portion of combustible substances. Combustible substances are something that burn very fast, and it's like cloth, the table, papers, what have you. Now, in the store they had this KTM motorcycle parked here, and the KTM motorcycle was in use. So they have gasoline in this motorcycle. The boys that were in this room, when they woke up, they didn't really wake up as a result of the fire. They woke up and used the bathroom. When they went in the bathroom, when I returned, they noticed smoke in this room. Huge smoke coming from the room. So they started shouting and going to wake up the rest of the people. As soon as they got to knocking the doors, to turn around and come back, the ceiling of the building dropped in front of them with huge fire on it. According to the boy who's in the hospital, they managed to run through that fire in the course of an hour. Two of them sustained very minor injury. One minor injury got brown, the skin didn't die. The other two were all injured. Now, the rest of the people, because they were deep in sleep, the time they took to wake them up, the smoke has engulfed the house, and the smoke produces a lot of carbon monoxide gas. And so the carbon monoxide gas shocked those children and killed them because they don't have anywhere else to pass. They have to pass through here. The time they did a call, and the number of hours that passed when they did a call to fire service also gave rise to the growth of the fire and made the fire to spread over the building. By the time fire service would get there, all the people in the building were already dead. Okay, so the building, each other room was 10 by 10. None of them more than that. More besides, the room was demarcated with 4 inches blocks. And the mortar that were used to demarcate to plaster the blocks were 1/2 inch mortar. So the 4-inch blocks were substandard. They were commercial blocks that were used to demarcate the building, and the heat was so heavy that it started falling apart before even the fire service could get there. So we formed bodies in each of the rooms. High concentration of bodies were here. We formed close to 13 to 15 bodies at the back of this room. This is where the imam, the Kamon live. I know most people know what they call Kamon. The teacher of the student, this is where he lived. So most of them went to him for rescue. Between here, we found about 8 to 7 bodies. In the corridor, we found 2 bodies. In the rooms, we found 3 bodies. So the entire building, there was no way for them to come to the front of the building. The fire actually started from the front, going to the back. As you know, once there was a fire, there will be a support from the oxygen that is coming. Once the place is free. So the huge support of oxygen that was blowing the fire into the building. That's how they got caught up, and everyone remained within the back of the building and died. So we tried to do this thing here, without bringing the entire building story like you see this one, but trying to do this so you can see and know how the building was structured. Now they had a mosque in the building. They come from here and come out to pray. And do that teaching here and go back. This was the dormitory. But the dormitory had only one way in, no exit. So that you come from the front, get in, and you get out, you get back to the front. That's how the dormitory was built. They had this fence around it, but the fence was not very huge. It's a low fence. That's the explanation we're trying to give people. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon.
Jesus. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. First of all, I want to take my hat off to the fire service group. for giving us this wonderful, wonderful information. We're getting there. We're getting there. At least they were transparent. They explained, and but we're getting there. We're getting there. And I want to take my hat off to them for the speedy investigation and giving some sort of a closure to the family members of how and why the kids died. So I think that's a good start. That's a good start, and I appreciate that. But let me go on. First of all, once again, we express our sympathy to the brothers and sisters of these young people, the parents, and we said, "Yeah, never mind." But anyway, let's go on. Now they talk about the building itself. Okay, before I do that, let me just show you what they talk. They said bricks. Okay, it's hard for you to see these bricks out there as they are, but they have different way of laying bricks. If you're going to lay bricks, okay, these are different way. They got stretcher, they got headers, and what have you. So the way you lay bricks doesn't mean the way they do it all the time. Doesn't mean that's wrong or wrong or right. Okay, you got stretcher, you got soldier, you got header, you got roll lock, you got solar, you got roll lock again. Okay, so these are different ways people can lay brick. Most of the bricks in Liberia are laid using stretchers, which is the first one. Okay, so that's the numbers you see on the side there. Okay, the number you see on the side there. This is how, for example, if you're building a house and you say, okay, how many bricks would it take me to build this house? You do the perimeters of the house. You just do the entire perimeter of the house. So say, for example, the house is 50 by 40. So you find the square footage of that. But anyway, these numbers in there, the HB, the TM, and all those are the different type of bricks calculation you do to come up with the actual number. So if you want to find the total after you do all of the calculation and stuff like that, then you come up with the A net divided by AB, which is bricks, and give you the total bricks you can do. I mean, that's something that's simple, elementary. Anybody can do that. Okay, but that's not the point that I'm talking about. This is how you do the bricks. You decide first of all what kinds of bricks you're going to be using, and based on that, you do the estimate. Let me show you another brick. Then I'll move on to the other subject matter. In Liberia, what do we have? In Liberia, we have these type of bricks, okay? The bricks you see over there in Liberia, okay? Let me, because I don't know if you can see it now, okay? They have what they call closure modular, okay? In Liberia, what type of brick do you use most of the time? It's the one on the far right in Liberia, okay? That have 3 holes in it, okay? And it is 8-inch, 6-inch, 4-inch in Liberia. But that particular, they call it 8-inch block. Those are the blocks you use for the outside perimeters. Okay? You use the 4-inch blocks for dividing the rooms. Most of the rooms in Liberia are 4-inch blocks, but the blocks outside the 8-inch blocks. And one of the good things that I like about the 8-inch blocks in Liberia, the poise, the wind can blow through and the house will be cool and what have you. But most of the bricks that you put together, you're supposed to have some sort of a fire retardant in it when you're mixing it up. But I'm not going to go into that. And I don't think we're quite there yet in Liberia to have that. So I just thought that I'd show you these things here. Let me now show you another thing that I want you to see here when they were talking about the house. This is the picture that I got from the burned out building, all right, and which I believe it is the building, because if you start counting the rooms, and you see, okay, if you look at it, okay, you can tell the guy was talking about 4-inch blocks. And the way you do those things, if you put in the 4-inch blocks, you put the murder in the way the 5.5 inches of murder the guy was talking about, which is this little piece of cement they put in between blocks and things like that. Those are good, okay. But the point is, one of the things that because I was in Liberia, I work as missionary in Liberia as well, because I used to be able to build things over there in the American embassy. So, but the way they do this mixing is a guessing game. Here in the United States, even any other place, part of the world, if you really want to do something, you have to do calculations. And there are ways to calculate even the murder, the amount of murder that you're going to use between breaks, they're calculation. And the reason you do that is specifically for this type of issues. If you're going to build a building, okay, in Liberia, we're not there yet. That's fine. And I'm not asking that either. But at least we should try. We should try to look into these kinds of stuff. Okay, so that's the burnout building over there. And the guy was talking about finding bodies here and there. So let me go on. Let me go on now that I've shown you those two things. Let's discuss a little bit more. Okay, folks, Samson told LeBron Public Radio. So he also mentioned earlier that this building, they classify it as dormitory. Now, in building codes, I told you already that they have different classifications of different type of buildings. They call it use group. What this building is going to be used for. You take that user group and group it into a particular area. Based on the grouping, in the grouping, then they specify, the code will tell you, okay, based on this particular utilization of this building, these are the kinds of things you need in order to have a safe building. Okay? The building inspectors and those who are going to be working, they should know these things. There's no question asked. Okay, so after that is done, the next thing you want to do is, okay, let's classify this building. Now that we know the classification, how many people would this building be allowed based on the code? Once again, you say it's classified as dormitory. So they tell you based on the dormitory classification, what's the room size that are required, the minimum. And there's nothing in there to say 10 foot by 10 foot, 10 foot by 10 foot building. My people, who gonna live in that kind of thing? Some here in the United States, some classes are like about more the same size. This is just, but then again, I'm not gonna say I fault these people. This building was built what, 1999? So I'm not gonna say I fault these people. That's fine. But these are kinds of stuff. We shouldn't wait for the next tragedy for us to take these things serious. The brothers and sisters that are running the organization, that are running the country, should also be able to extend their helping hand to all of the community's leaders to say, what school do you have here? What do you have in here? Let's look at it. Okay? All right. Now, the guy also mentioned the main thing is the faulty electrical wiring as being the problem that caused the fire. In whatever building design you do, plumbing, if you're doing plumbing, you have to tap into either the city water or your own well. And if you and I'll explain that. If you tap into the city well, the city water, the pumps that run in the middle in the street. In fact, most city pumps are right underneath your sidewalk. They are not quite in the street. In the street, what do they have in the street itself? They have a sanitary line. They have sewer line in the middle of the street. They won't put sewer line on the side of the road. They put drainage. They put a storm drain on the side in the gutter. Okay, so it's not too far from the middle of let's just say the shoulder. In the middle of the street is where you have sanitary line. Okay, and the reason they do that, they want you to have some sort of a good fall. So that when you use the toilet, when you flush the toilet, most of the toilets are what they call gravity feed. You don't have pump in your house to pump the toilet out. There's gravity feed. So they put the sanitary line in the middle of the street so it can be a little bit deeper, and then you have gravity feed based on the slope from your house. Okay, so you have that in the middle of the street. Then on the side, these are the things you do whenever you go to any kinds of community that is being constructed. You will see those pipes. Nowadays they use PVC and but before then they used to use clay pipe. I'm sure they're still using clay pipe. But anyway, that's not the point here. So when you do that, then you decide, okay, how much do I tap out of this water, the city water that is underneath the sidewalk? Because the pressure in a 12-inch pipe, the pressure is already there. All you need to do is tap in. When you tap into it, your pipe that coming to that from that city water, okay, will determine the amount of pressure that come in the water, the amount of pressure water that come in your house. Okay, because the smaller the earth rate of the pipe, the higher pressure it is. So when you come in from the pipe, it's bigger. So as it comes closer to your house, the pipe becomes smaller and smaller. So you have more pressure coming in. So that when you open your faucet, you don't have no pump, no water, or it's all air coming out. So that's how you do. That's why when you go to the plumbing places, they have what they call reducers and stuff. So they can reduce as they go from one point to another. Samson too. I told you guys that this is going to be a little bit different tonight, and I don't mean to bore you with all of the whatever that I'm giving you, but that's the truth. Go and search it out. But anyway, that's how you get the plumbing done. Okay. Now, if you're in an area where there's no city water and you're tapping in from a well, if you're tapping in from a well, you're going to have a pump that will pump because you need pressure. And that's why in Liberia, most of the places, like my sister's house, when I was there, I thought she did a wonderful job. She built herself a tower where she had a concrete tower where she pumped water in there. But because of the gravity feed from that tower, the pressure, when she opened her faucet, the pressure comes in. Because when you have a gravity feed, what is it, 9.81 meter per second, that's a lot. Okay, yeah, please don't hold me to those things up. No, I'm just telling you, 9.81. Okay, but anyway, that's 32.2 feet per second if you want to go. But please, let's forget that. But anyway, that's how you calculate these things. And when you're coming in, then you say, okay, I want to use this pipe, and based on the size of the pipe, will also determine how much pressure coming in. I already told you that. Now let's go to the electrical section. It's similar stuff. It's no different. So when you build your house, usually here in the United States, to build a house, they tap into the city's electrical system. The electrical system in the street, they're already set. They're not going to reduce it because you have a small house, or they're not going to enlarge it because you have a big house. You determine what size cable you want from there to come in, how much amps you want to come in. Then when they bring that in, the city will do this for you. They will take it from their pole and bring it into your box by the house. What you do with it after that is up to you. Then you decide, okay, I'm building this house. How many rooms do I have? I have this room, I have this room, I have this room. Okay, I'm going to put a circuit, the plugs here and there. Each of these plugs, how far away from the main breaker? Because the amps are going to be traveling through these wires. And in the process, they're going to be losing some. Just like you have a pipe that is leaking. And that's why most of the wire, they got gauge. And these wire, the cable that come from the pipe, that come from the street, your electrical wire, they got gauge. Because if you use small gauge and bring in more power, it will burn it up. If you use big gauge and bring in less power, it will eat it, or you're not getting enough. So all of these gauges, they tell you what you need. So, like I told you guys, this is a little bit different tonight, and I'm going a little bit more than what I usually do, but I don't intend to. I just want you to understand this. So when the pipe comes, when you bring your wire in, okay, you got these plugs. Each of these plugs have already been calculated. How many amps each of these plugs takes, they're already there. So when you do that, you do your calculation. How far is it? And what gauge, what wire am I using? Okay, based on that, okay, what are the pipes, what are the electrical system that I'm using, how much? So all of those things are calculated, and you can find that in electronics, folks. If you're an engineering student, check electronics, and they will tell you. Electrical system for building, they will tell you what the gauges, and they will tell you how much you need and things like that. Now, when you're done with that, You have all of those things set. You have a breaker. If you go, those of you that own a house, if you open your breaker, they will mark, the electrical people mark kitchen. So within that little bracket that go up and down, that can switch the whole kitchen, because everything that is in that kitchen is plugged onto that one breaker. Then you got bathroom. Then you got a master bedroom. All of these things are they all has their own breaker within the breaker system. The main breaker is outside. They only have maybe one or two to switch. You turn it on, everything come on. You turn it off, everything goes. But then when you come inside, then they split it because they don't want you to take the big thing and bring it in and just distribute. Because there are certain places people they're not electrical engineers. They don't know all of those things. So they come in and say, oh, I don't care. I'll just plug my thing there. The washing machine you have you seen the plug of the washing machine, especially the dryers? Okay, those are things that you have to be, and that's why they don't want you to just take it from outside and give it to you. Why? Because these things can cause fire if you don't know how to manage it. So most of the time when they do this building, they have everything set. Then the building inspector comes in. Let's look at the floor plan. They look at the floor plan. What are the entrance and exit in the building based on the building characteristic that is already being established? They will tell you how many entrance and how many exit you're going to have, especially if it's a dormitory. You must. And the building code will tell you that. If you don't have them, for example, you right now that are living in the diaspora, and I'm sorry to say Liberia and diaspora because, but that's the only way we'll be honest. You get up right now and say you want to build a little shack in your own backyard, and you will have to go for permit. And in the permit process, during the permit process, you will have to submit engineering drawing that will certify the building code. First of all, the share you want to put in the bag, does it meet the zoning in that area? All of those things will be asked of you. And so if you're going to say you want to build a little share, they don't just do it overnight. It takes you 1 month or so until they're certified. Then they come out. Okay? We certify with a drawing. Who's going to construct it? Does that contractor, does he have a license to do business here in this community? You say, yeah, okay, let's see your license. Say, okay, let's start work. 2 days later, while the process is going on, the man come back. He said, oh, you got an eave here. Look at your slope. Let's see what is the slope according to the plan. This is the slope of the roof. You have more than that. Why is it? Before you even finish, if you make one mistake, they will tell you to take it down. And that's why not that you don't have fire in this place, you do. But the people are so careful. The people are so careful. And these are kinds of stuff that we're hoping our brothers and sisters in Liberia will try to emulate. Because you can't just say, I want to wear the pure type of clothes and dance the pure type of dancing and enjoy the way the people are enjoying, but the other thing that bring the enjoyment down my head now, you say, you can't do that. You want to live like Westerner, you must live like Westerner in a totality, including all of the codes that make the Westerner to enjoy themselves. You can't come from here and go down there and say, oh, I ain't total now. Oh, okay, you don't live like total. No, you don't do that because people expect you to go over there with new ideas. That's what traveling is about. Okay? All right, let's move on. So after all of that is done, according to the report, there was you only go in, you don't come out, you come out from the same door. Why is that? And if you look at the doors in Liberia, one of the things especially if it's a dormitory building, what is it? Is it left door opening, right door opening, or push out or push in? How? And the classification will tell you what type of door to use. Okay? And why would you build a house and there's no exit? For what reason? Okay? And like I said, I'm from Tour Town. I've seen a lot. They will build these roofs of this building, okay? And sometimes they wood, the purland, sorry, I mean, let's use wood. The wood that go up, okay, and the one that go over it. Sometimes they don't even match. The spacing are not quite correct. So when you look at the zinc that they put over it, when they place the nail, the spacing are not even the right spacing. And sometimes when it's raining, the rain comes heavy, some of the because there's not right spacing, the weight of the water cave the zinc in, and that particular place go down. And up my house leaking out. Those are things, but what do I sit here and blame the brothers and sisters over there? No, I don't. But those of us that want to work in these government agencies that doing these kinds of stuff, if you submit your resume, and on that resume you finish telling people that you know this, you know that, it is your job to help our brothers and sisters survive. Now, yes, let me be a little bit controversial on here. Now, these are our brothers and sisters. They are Manigo people. Can you imagine you going over there from the government agency and say, "Oh, they've been I aim to call." My man, what kind of business you can't do it? We're teaching children. What do you mean? Oh, because we Manigo people that way? No, they belong not to call. You know how long you'll be on that team? That's not for me. That's not how I would approach it. I will call the community and go to the community leaders. And one of the things that I love in Liberia, every little piece of whatever they have, organization. Mosquito catching, they got organization. Dog catcher, they got organization. People who sneeze, they got organization. And their organization have leadership. So it's easy to convert with them. So I would have gone to the community to say, look, children are going in here. This is not safe. You make them feel that they are a part of the process and not make them feel to be guilty. Explain to them what exactly this thing is about. Let them feel by your explanation you're on their side. You're not there to punish anybody because you have learned and you know these things. So you explain to them in a common language they will understand. First of all, people, I don't care what are they buy in construction or anything. Once you point it out to them that it's going to affect their children, they will tell you, the man say, fix it. I'll bring my baby. Who will have their my people? Who will have their child 9 months? The man carry the child, and you the father, you happy. The baby come. Then you say, oh, that building I know it. Not say, but go there anyway. You think they will send their children to an unsafe building if they know these things? You think so? I don't think so. Here in the United States, those of us that have kids, when your child leave in the morning to go to school, some of you don't even want your children to walk to school. You and your wife, you go take in today or take her today or take them. I will count 12 o'clock. I will run home to bring them home. That's how we are protective of our children. What make you think in Liberia they're not protective of their children as well? But we, those of us that know the little stuff here and there, we must explain to these brothers and sisters the best way. And that building, I bet you that's not the only building. If you look at the building, look around it. That building that caught on fire, look around. You see how many palm trees they have? Fire hazard. Okay? So the fact that they were even able to put motorbike in there, somebody should have informed them this is not safe. And why were they keeping these flammable cloths in those places? This is a school where children sleep. The community leaders themselves, you need to get involved. People, children are in your hands. Go to the school. Say, okay, let's see why your guy here. They're not because that your uncle played. No. The children that died, they're not coming back. The hole that in the parent heart right now is not going to heal. They will forever. Think about that child. And those could have been the future leader of Liberia. Forget about it, Manigo, they forget it. That kind of thing ain't working anymore. Every one of us, every one of our children are potential leader of Liberia. So if you guys have the responsibility, take it serious. Take it serious. And work on it. Nowadays, here's the thing here, my people. We're suffering. Nowadays, you go on Google and just type just about anything you want to type about. They will tell you. They will tell you. You can be in Town set. If you type Building Code, International Building Code will come up and you will see it right there in Town. You don't have to be in Montreal, forget it. You see what I'm saying? So there's the classroom nowadays. You don't have to be in a university and what. As long as you can read a little bit, that's fine. The classroom is an international, global classroom. If you want to learn it, you will learn it. So I just want to show this. I just want to share that with folks. Again, this is Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. Another thing I want to point out here before I move on about these bricks. They have, when you're building these things, they have fire retardant bricks, but they're a little bit expensive. That's fine. But here's another thing. You heard the man when he was talking that when the fire got real hot, the bricks started falling apart. Because first of all, the only thing they have that were holding in most buildings in Liberia, especially single family dwelling, the bricks building, they only had Samson too. I went home the other day. I saw my sister. She was building a house, and I look at her. She said, "I need steel rod." I said, "Why you need steel rod?" She said, "I need steel rod in the corner." I started laughing. You need steel rod in the place that is the most stable of the building, and you're going to put steel rod in there. It's like you double the whatever it is. Because steel rod, here's the thing. You put steel rod is good in compression. It's good in tension as well. Okay, concrete is bad. It's bad in compression. It's good in tension. Okay, all right. So, I mean, no, sorry, bad in compression and bad in tension. That's right. Okay, but anyway, that's besides the point. But the reason why they put steel rod in concrete. So when the concrete, since it's bad in compression, when you take a concrete beam and press on it in the bottom, it's gonna break. But the steel rod are there to help. Okay. So when my sister said, well, I'll put a steel rod there in the corner. For what reason? Here's the thing about the corner. Where's the corner? The corner, you bring two sides together, right? That's stable. In fact, one of the things that you need to know about building serious in Liberia, you can't stretch anything more than 40 feet because you don't have the stretching capacity to stretch and put roofing that will go more than 40 feet. So what people need to know is when you're doing anything that is more than 40 feet, you call what they call pilaster. You don't have concrete. I mean, steel costs more money. So you call what they call pilaster. You put pilaster. Okay. Back in the day, yes. I'm glad that I'm bringing this subject up. The fact that I'm from Town, the fact that I'm a countryman, I enjoyed this. Back in the days, I went to my grandma's town in Ivory Coast. Now that I'm an engineer, I think about these things. I'm saying, in the middle of the building, they have this huge wood. He had about 3 of them. But guess what they were doing? Those were structures that was supporting the lintel, that was supporting the floor up there. I didn't know that. All I used to do was just run behind that and hide myself. But I didn't know that those things was there to support the roofing system. If you don't want to use wood, you countryman, but you think it's civilized, use pilaster. And you'll still be able to support those things. But that's not the point here tonight. Let me move on. I just want to put that out there, folks, on a very serious note. If we're going to be doing these things, if we want to live like a civilized people, these are kinds of things we need to invest. We need to invest in these things. They are young Liberians. And one of the things that I like about Liberia, the young people are so anxious to educate themselves. The reason why you see them running around in Monrovia, blah, 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 all those kinds of stuff, because the opportunity is that those same people that you call Zogo, Zagali, whatever you call them, find a way and bring them in America. I give you 4 years. Those people that run in the street, if you bring some of them, 4 years, they will get their degree. You're not the only person that have the determination to have a degree and better yourself up. That's one of the things about Liberia. And I will say this before I close and move on to my other subject. Think about your own self. Think about yourself. 25 years ago, where were you? Exactly. Now think about where you are now. Look at the kind of car you're driving. When people look at your Facebook page, you see your car key alone. Your car keys alone. Look at the house you're living in. You got no man here. You got no pa here. No uncle that will help you to find job. Why are you doing good? It's all because this is who our culture, this is who you are, based on our culture. The culture of Liberia, if you peel all of the political nonsense, if you peel it away and go deep into the culture of Liberia, the culture of Liberia will not allow their children to be lazy. No. Think about it. Those of us that are countryside, you came to Monrovia to go to school. You got nobody in that place, but you were able to live in Monrovia to go to school. And so people say, I come from Monrovia. I grew up in the street of Monrovia. That America will come and suffer? I doubt it. I doubt it. I doubt it. No way I will come to America to suffer. I beg you, I will not steal anything either. I will work hard. Because that's what we do. You used to walk from Ken Johnson Road all the way to Ministry of Education because you got fasting for Texas. You used to walk from I don't call it Old Road. No, let's just say from Busakola all the way to Old Road to go find something from your uncle or your auntie to go eat. Then America, you will be suffering. I beg you, unless you want to. I will leave it as that. I'll leave it as that. So the point that I'm making here is Liberians, one of the good things about us is that we work hard. Give us the opportunity and we will work and make good living. That's the subject matter for this one that I told you. There's two of them, and two of them they're in my area of engineering, of course. Let me show you the other one now. This one is also a engineering subject matter, but a little bit different. A few weeks ago, I think last week or so, they had this thing out where they call it dirty death trap. Once again, you got Liberians all over the world capable of doing these things. They're taking the dirt, the trash of Monrovia. They don't know what to do with it. They don't know what to do with it. Simple stuff. Yes, another thing that they most likely not even thinking, or they know they want to ignore. These things are death trap. These pile of rubble, they got methane in it, gas that can explode very easily. They got carbon dioxide out of it and can kill people easily as well. If you know an area I laugh. These things, there are people in this country that uses garbage like these things here and make it into fuel and electrify certain part of the community. It can be done. But you just need a will. Okay? Let's go into it. So that community where the garbage, where the people were pulling the garbage, Jefferson Kochi and his people pulling it, they said they want it out. But back in the days, they agreed for the government to use the place, hoping that they were going to bring jobs. But now because the EU and other people, people were helping them. Folks, I'm going to digress a little bit. Before I do this, let me move on to something else here quickly. I apologize, but let me. This something is. I'm not going to be here. I'm not going to be that long. I think it will take me about 10-15 minutes for this particular subject matter. But it's very important that I bring it up. Then I'll come back to the issue. So I think yesterday or the day before, they have this thing here where they pay $18.9 million for census. But what I want to talk about on this particular census here, you can go and read about it. But one of the things, I've been on air here, and I have to do this. I've been on air here, okay, pretty much climbing for Honorable Tua to be removed from being the Minister of Finance, because I believe, and I've always stated this, I've always told you guys, that Minister Tua is not a dumb person, very smart, very intelligent. But there are certain areas, for some reason, he doesn't want to exercise that smartness or whatever it is. And as a result, when it come out to the mapping exercise they were supposed to do with that money, since that time, I have no confidence in him. However, this issue about the census, this is the Tua, and I will show his video here. This is the Samuel Tua that people have been looking for. This is the Samuel Tua that we need to see every time when the issue comes up. And I tell like anything else, that's who I am. If you do anything I don't like, I will tell you. If you do something I like, I will praise you. I don't care. It's not like you're my friend. What I've been saying about Samuel Tua I wanted him to be removed because I believe what he's doing with the economic situation in Liberia was not nice. I'm not an economist, but why would you, as smart as you are, being the head of something, being the captain, and time comes you say, I was just the captain, but I'll tell the people what to do. But listen to this Tua man here when it comes to the census. And some of the things that I've been talking about for months and even years. And that's exactly what he's picking up. I love that. Communication, the process of communicating to people for future endeavor helps to settle a lot of things. Let's listen to Tua. I don't want to talk too much on this here. Let's listen to Tua. Where's Tua? Okay, right there. Let's listen to Tua. This is during the sanction signing about the sanction census they have in Liberia. Let's listen to him. And this is the same Samuel Tua I read and talk and listen to him and see how much sense he's making. Listen to him, and you will appreciate that if this man truly if he comes out. One of the things after watching this yesterday, I started speculating. I said, these people are getting ready to change. They're getting ready to change. The we-are-led government is getting ready to change and will change for the better. I think so. I hope so. I pray. Let's watch Samuel 12, folks. Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio.
We could, on behalf of the President and the government of the Republic of Liberia, it is wonderful that we have achieved this census milestone, the signing of the census document, which inaugurates the commencement of the census exercise formally. Some time back, several months back, the President commissioned the Census Commission. It had its first sitting, I think, last week. And now we are here doing the signing. But this signing, as other speakers have said, is belated, but belated for a good reason. because I think all stakeholders around the table are working to ensure that we have this census right. And whether it's financing, it's programming, it's digitization, it has to deliver optimal improvement over the previous census. And I think the census in 2008, which is a great census, has put the country on the trajectory of development. The numbers of those censuses are what we're using in all of our development planning. We believe this digital census, once completed, will be the best census to date in the history of the country. And I think we're beginning that process today, so we all deserve commendation. Let me say a big thank you to all of our development partners for their contribution to this, particularly to the government of Sweden, which has made one of the biggest contributions to date, the World Bank Group, I hope, and then other partners. We know that we're still reaching out to partners. We have a budget of 18 million. And then to the government of Liberia as well. Save the best for the last. The government has disbursed around 1 million to the census process. We have in this year's budget 2 million. Budget has just passed the 526 million. We have on the PSIP, Public Sector Investment Program, 2 million for the census. So that formally brings government contribution to date to 3 million. Government had committed previously 6 million. We've budgeted 3 million. We're working assiduously to ensure that we can meet those targets. You know, you all can understand the fiscal situation of the country. It's possible windfall revenues that we're not budgeting. We just passed the budget, extraordinary discussions of the legislature to ensure that we pass a national budget that is closest to our real revenue potential. This is what we've achieved. 526 is a revolutionary number in the history of public financial management in Liberia. So we're glad we have that. We try to execute that credibly so that entities can have allocations enshrined in that budget. And in that, among those allocations is 2 million for the census. So we have to work to ensure that on a priority basis, because time is already of the essence here, that those resources are made available for the census process. So DG, you have my assurance, the chairman of the board, to work very hard to ensure that we can deliver on our commitment in the budget. The importance of this exercise can never be underscored for our government. We've launched a proper agenda for prosperity and development, and in that document, the data predicates upon data from the previous census. And so what we're looking to do is to have updated data infrastructure on which the PAPD can premise. We're moving toward a data-centric, what I call data-centric governance, meaning the policy decisions that the country makes, that the government makes, have to be based on reliable data. You know, and we have to find a way to disaggregate that data across the country. And so we fully well understand the importance of this exercise, and we're enjoining on all government ministries and agencies, all government officials, that this exercise is critical for national development and has to be collectively owned by all. So census, you know, the data, when you talk about data infrastructure, is a boring thing. It's people, you know, it's about crunching numbers, it's about analysis, so sometimes it's not exciting. Director General, you have to find exciting ways to communicate data to the public to win more ownership and more support from government officials. I think this is key, because whether it's the national budget, whether it's planning for education, it's planning for health, we need to use data to identify the gaps, to know whether programs are reaching targeted communities, to know whether those programs are having impact. And the beginning of all of that exercise begins with a very good census, from which extrapolations based on the numbers that come out of a census exercise can be made by economists, by analysts, to do further planning in health surveys. And beyond census, LISGIS also does a number of other activities in the agriculture sector. When I was a consultant in the Ministry of Finance, I relied heavily on the data from LISGIS, the agricultural production data, to write the constraints analysis. So I know data, they don't just do census, they do a lot of other things, but sometimes the public is not aware of these things. The demographic health surveys also, how we understand the whole demographics of our health system, our education, LISIS is at the center. I think what we as a government need to do is to empower LISIS more, to mainstream LISIS into the center of government policy making. Because it appears that even by their physical location here, they look like on the margin, they're going to the ocean. so sometimes we need to bring them back into the center because they are at the center of development. So, Director General, on behalf of the President and the Cabinet, I would say that your case will be made strongly. And now that we're having the census exercise going, your allocations and other your engagement with other stakeholders, other sectors should be made prominent. And I think you have that commitment from the Ministry of Finance. So the other point I want to underscore is that as we go forward with this exercise, I think I stressed it earlier, we have to communicate to the public. We're in a time, in a digital era, where communication is becoming more important than policymakers want to accept. So it does appear that in the policy formulation process, the communication architecture is more paramount than we like to imagine. So it's not about communication now, it's not just about reporting things that are happening. It has to be about preemption, about things that are about to happen, preparing the public's imagination for things that are coming. So we have to find a way to prepare the public's imagination for the census that is coming, so that they anticipate what does that mean. As a citizen, what am I required to do? What is my honest contribution to have a fair, reliable database? Are you correct? So I think that packaging has to happen clearly. All of it, we should communicate with our people. What is the census? What is it? So that their behavior toward that can be positive, and we can minimize the mistakes and the errors in the process. So I would look forward to working with you on a very strong communication program across the country, particularly in the rural areas where we should, in access, people should have information about timing of events and whether they have a role. I think let's use this as a new beginning and to build stronger momentum. I would like to say again, on behalf of the President, we pledge the government's fullest commitment to this exercise, to challenge all of the heads of entities that are on the Census Commission for their optimal engagement. And when we call the next census meeting, we should all be there at the highest level, so that we're not sending just assistant ministers or directors to these meetings, but the ministers themselves have to take interest in census activities. I think you have that commitment on behalf of myself and my colleagues, that we will all work together to ensure that this is the greatest census that we have conducted in the history of this country. Thank you very much.
Did you hear that? I love it. I love it. Communication today, he says, is the most important thing we need to do, except he said policymakers do not try, they don't understand it and somehow try not pay close attention to it. And this is something I've been saying for months and even years. Because if you communicate whatever process or whatever policy you have, if you communicate it effectively to those, the targeted group, once they get to understand through the communication process, they will embrace it. They will, and the Liberian mentality. And let's see, let's try him. Try him. Let's see what he will do. Let's see. Based on the communicate, because they're not going to resist you. But if you do not communicate with the people, if you do not inform them of what is happening, and then you say, this is good for you. And we know that one, you come and bring up, man, well, yeah, we're not doing it. That's Liberian way. Any human being will resist. So I thought that I do that, and I hope that Minister Tua, it's not like he's in my grace book right now, but that he will continue to do these kinds of stuff. If what he just did here, if he has done it with the mapping, because there shouldn't be no secret. Mapping, you're taking people money to do something to help them. So there should be no secret. So you come out and explain to the citizenry what exactly this mapping process was going to do, what was the intended purpose, how do you achieve it. You will find many Liberians would have been able to follow it and then cooperate with you. And if you do that, we will be fine. And that's what I say. So I want to congratulate the minister for understanding the power of communication. The power of communication when it comes to the census. And one of the things he said, I think we, the ministers themselves, should not be, when we come to this meeting, we shouldn't be sending assistant minister and director. We should come in ourselves and embrace this. Because from here, then we can express the process, the communication process to our people, because, especially in the rural area, he said. And this is what exactly I've been saying over and over. Talk to us. Talk to the people. They will understand. But you're not going to run this thing in a vacuum. It's not going to work. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. I thought I'd throw that in. Let me go back to my main subject. The subject matter here now, the second subject matter, which is I was talking about the dirt, the filth in Monrovia, the garbage, and it seemed like the brothers and sisters over there are having some serious issues. And at first, this community wanted this thing to be built over there. And when it started, they most likely didn't do it correct. So as a result, you have this thing. There are places here in the United States. Sometimes you drive, unless you're in the engineering field, you will not know it. Sometimes you drive in places, you drive past, and you don't even know those used to be landfill. There are some other places people live right now. Big, beautiful houses, beautiful green grass. Those used to be landfill. Landfill management is very, very, very important. Because here's the thing. I told you already, we want to live in a civilized world. Now, let's just say, let's go to total 30, 40 years ago. What was I? I'm not telling you. But what did they do? When Mama come from the farm, she take the rice and put it in the mother and go puku, 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 and take it and put it in the finer and go behind the house, flaka, flaka, flaka. And my brother then, when they have caca, they take the caca and put it in that area. And the thing piled up. Ah, yes. You know, they could have used those things for farming. Yeah. Well, you don't know. You know those things. Now, those of you that are from the countryside, if you used to live in the village, not in the town, but if you used to live in the village, that thing where they throw all the dirt and stuff like that, certain time, when you guys move, because back home they always used to move one village after farming, they say, okay, they'll go to the other place. But when they come back, that particular area, the weed in that area, the grass, the most beautiful grass. Why? Because the fertilization that is there. Oh, my people. Ah, yes. By the way, I'm not going to go into that. But the point that I'm making, any part of the world you live, people produce garbage. There's no way around it. You go to the store, you buy something, you got to wrap it up. You can't, you take that wrap, you're going to throw it away. The water people drinking, and those of us that come from the diaspora and going home, well, some of the cost is on us too. Because you go over there, because and I don't blame you either. Because you get down there, you're not used to the water, so you buy bottled water. When you finish, where you throw that bottled water? Where that bottled water going? You don't know. You just throw it away. After that, you come back to America. That the bottled water, the people, then over there, then they're suffering. But that's not the point here. The point that I'm going to make it on a very serious note. These things can be taken care of. They bring Jefferson Kochi, a young man. I don't know his standing with, as far as waste management is concerned. Maybe he's educated in that area. I don't know, and I'm not going to pronounce that. Okay? And then people say, Mr. Tony, then you're not being sincere, because Jefferson Kochi, he just a college student. How do I know that he never studied these things? I'm not going to go into that, okay? Because I've never read his CV to say he know that. I'm not going to go into that. But that's not my point. The point that I want to make here is this. The garbage in Monrovia is causing serious health issues. Serious health issues. And these things must be taken care of. So, I told you guys, all of these things that I'm going to be talking about tonight, I will come from the bike side and talk to you about it from the engineering perspective. So let's go ahead. Let's look at it, okay? So when you start these things, first thing you do is to find an area. You say, okay, I'm going to go and do some research. And you know who all involved in that research in the area? Engineers, of course. But you must have geotechnical, people who will study the earth, the soil, the makeup of the soil. People who will study water table, groundwater table. How far is the groundwater table? People who will study the environment. What is it here? Do we have a lot of frogs in here? Do we have I'm serious, folks. Don't laugh. Do you have a lot of snakes in here? Because those things, you want to protect those things as well. I'm serious. Okay? So all of these things make up the waste management process itself. Then from there, after you have identified the area and you think this is a suitable area, then you approach it like you do with everything else. Okay, what do I need? What exactly, how much metric tons of dirt, garbage do I need in this area? And how do I seal it? Okay, if I'm going to get this much, how many years would it take me to get to this point? Based on the analysis that you're going to come up with, you can say, okay, I want this thing, this landfill to be to be big, like from Lane Street all the way to Busakota. That's how big I want the landfill to be, all around. Okay? So you have that radius set, what, maybe 2,500 feet radius or whatever you have. But you have already known the quantity, the makeup of the soil. Okay? So after that is done, it's like peeling banana or peeling orange. You take the outer peel from it, and then the inside part you're eating. But in this process, in this particular case, it's like almost the opposite. You peel the top part, and the bottom one you take it out, like you would do with I call it watermelon. Okay, you cut inside the watermelon and have it hollow in. Okay, so when you do that hollow part, they have the environmental plastic. They're not quite visqueen. They're not visqueen, because visqueen is what you use, clear plastic you use for window during wintertime and stuff like that. Those are visqueen. But these particular environmental plastic, they're a little bit thicker. Okay? They are not quite fabric either. They're plastic. Let's put it that way. So you take that. After you already hollow out the hole, you dig the hole. Sometimes you dig 10 feet deep. And sometimes the bottom of the hole, it's just like from Lane Street all the way to Busakota. That's how big that place will be. Okay? And when you put a plastic bag in there, then the next thing you do is to find pipes. Because here's the thing that you're doing. You're sealing in all of the garbage. Hopefully people will be able to come up with the idea of separating garbage, plastic from paper and what have you. But that's down the line. I'm not even going to deal with whatever process you guys have. Whatever they're going to end up in that garbage dump area. That's what I'm dealing with. So you do that. When the truck comes in, I'm just following it now. When the truck comes in, they make their first dump. You dig that place just like you would do with mine iron ore. Iron ore mine, they don't just go dig like that. They go like they all around, just like airplane getting ready to land. When the airplane getting ready to land, and they go like that. And as they go, they go down and down and down until they get to the runway. Airplane don't just come flying from boom, boom. No. They go around to find. That's why when you get in closer, then they do the banking. They're doing that so that they will find a suitable. As they're going around, they're also going lower in elevation. It's the same way, same process here. So when you digging, you start from the top, but then you go in and making yourself like a circle. But at the same time, you're going deeper and deeper until you reach the level that you want. And that's the level you clean up. Let me put something up here for you so that you will have an idea what I'm talking about. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio, I told you this is going to be a little bit different tonight. It's going to be mixing with commentary mixed with engineering. So I hope that when I open a line, people will be able to talk to me and ask questions. If you have whatever question you want to ask, you ask. Okay. Look at this. You see this here? Okay, let's just say this is the far left end, that Lane Street. The far right end, that Buso Color. So all of the area, okay, from the other end, that the barracks gate, the wall dividing, how do you call it, the main street from the barracks. Then you go all the way to Benson Street, okay? So I'm just giving you an area here, okay? So what they're doing there is to say, okay, this is the area we're going to dig up. You see the top green soil? In fact, on the other end of that, you see that lake? So you can make this thing as beautiful as possible. So you have already identified the area. And you say, okay, this area I'm going to dig in. When you finish digging, some people put concrete just to make the bottom solid. But when you put concrete, you have to provide for drainage. Because remember now, you're gonna put dirt in there. I mean, you're gonna put garbage in there, and it's gonna rain. So you have to provide for drainage. You don't want a garbage in the hole mixed with water. No. So when you're grading this thing, it has to be positive grading. You grade a little bit up so water come, whatever way you want the water to go, you're gonna control the water. But then when you do that, you also provide drainage. And remember, you also going to have to not go all the way to the groundwater table, because this is people drinking water you're going to be messing with. All right. Then you provide, in that you provide the pipes that will vent out the methane and the carbon dioxide gas to vent out. And sometimes you capture those things. Those gases, you capture them and turn them into electrical supply. I'm serious. Okay, let me show you another one. So when this is the opening that I'm talking about. You see how the people go way up there? You see the hill? They now open it up. They didn't put no dirt in that hill. They're just trying to fix the bottom of it. They're trying to fix the bottom of it, so that when they start putting the dirt, you don't just come and pile the dirt and leave it like that. You spread the dirt. Think again. And I'm glad that I'm from Town, my people, because when you're making mud house in Town, you don't just come and you dig a hole, correct? And then you pour all the dirt in there, you pour water in there, and people step on it to make the mud. Am I making it up? Okay. So when you finish making the mud, you take that mud and take it to the site, to the building site, before they put it on the building itself. What do? They do it like somebody swallowing domo. They cut that little piece, squeeze it, then they put it on the wall. When they're squeezing that thing, the squeezing part of it, those who are experienced, they want to feel which one going to stick to this wall. Because if it's too wet, they put it down, it fall off. If it's too dry, they put it on, it will start breaking apart. So they feel it to make sure the mix of water and my people, our people are so good in engineering. It's unbelievable. They want to make sure the water content and the dirt content are mixed correctly, so that when they put it on the wall, it will stick on it. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. I'm just giving it to you as it is. But let's go back here. So you see how they did it on the side. They have the drainage system. And remember, water go downhill. You're not going to take it from here and go, unless, and other people will do that. Pump the water out of them, pump it somewhere else, because you don't want that dirty water to go into the groundwater table. Okay, let me show you another one. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. So here now, look at this. That's the first dirt in there. Look what they have. You see the rotor? Now, what the rotor is doing is fixing the side slope of this ditch. Because it's almost like a ditch. Okay? The guy is rolling it so it will be stable. Because what he's going to be doing, they're going to be putting dirt in there, and the dirt going to fill up. But you see the bottom part, you see the plastic I'm talking about? They have that on there. So it's already there, set. Okay, let me go on to the next one. Okay, and I'll come up with some, after that. Okay, look at this. See what these people are doing now? They're now putting the actual dirt. And this dirt is more like a filter. All of the dirty water filter. That it doesn't go, all the dirt don't go on there. This is like a filter. And then they have you can put a ditch in the middle. And the ditch goes towards the area you want to collect this dirty water. So the water don't go to your water table. Okay? You see the hillside? You see the hill over there? Now, when they come and put the dirt in here, then the grader come and grade the dirt, move it around, spread the dirt, and compact it. But then in Liberia, then that's an issue. Because in Liberia, we don't want a building road. They don't even compact the road anyway. But here, I'm just telling you things that you can. Now, let's just take, for example, there's an area over there when you go into Kakata. What make you think government cannot purchase, or even city of Monroe cannot purchase the land, huge land over there, and make it into a landfill? But when you're doing it, you have to make the community to understand what exactly you're doing. Why are you asking this community to give up this land? Are they should they be concerned of cancer coming out of them from this dirt? Those are the kinds of information you're going to have to pass on. Explain to the people what will be the end result. Who are the user? Who will be the beneficiary from this thing here? Let me show you another one. Samson told Liberian Public Radio folks, I'm not playing around here tonight. Okay, this is going to be the last one here. Now, I'll just show you all this stuff. Now, let me show you the end result. When they finish now, this is what the community want these people to do, to move. But you think when they finish, they will cover it up? No, but look at this. Look at this. You see the dirt, the black area is the dirt. They finish filling it up. The green area, they're not planting grass over it. Like I said, only the sad thing is most of you are not engineers, so when you drive in these areas, you don't know them. But most of the bike streets that connect these highways, when you drive in some of the area, you will find landfill. You will not even know that landfill, except you will find a hump. Okay? But look at it. You see the pipe in the middle of that? That pipe, they trap, it collects the methane, and then it goes into the electrical powerhouse, and then it's supplied. They use it. That's like gas. Okay? Look at the drainage system they have. Just so that it doesn't go to the groundwater table. They also have vent. All of the methane that is not collected by this pipe in the middle, the vent pick it up. Okay? Those are the things that people can do. Liberians, you got Liberians that are specialized in these kinds. I'm just giving you little here and there. But there are Liberians that specialize and they will do a better job. The information I'm just giving you, there's so many people when they come on here, they explain, but what kind of nonsense are you talking about? You even know what you talk about that. Because you people are special, they do this every day. So they can give you a correct and an insight of what you should be expecting. But I'm just telling you, there should be no reason why we should continue in this day and age. Before the week is over, you will have maybe about 4, 5, almost 100 Liberians experienced, not just engineering, but well-rounded Liberian will go to Liberia. And then they get there, they shake their head. Hey, my people, one will get out of this. Let me can't go on here. Then they come back. Because we're not giving them reason to stay. You leave from here, you get to Monrovia. As soon as you get at the airport, the smell, then you know you're in Liberia. The smell for me is unique. But the point that I'm making here to our brothers and sisters is this. Liberia is not CDC farm. Open up. Open up. You will not find enemy of the state. Open up. Let Liberians, those Liberians that have the abilities, and they are still young. They're not all like something told. They're young. Bring them on board. Let them help you move that country. But they say, oh, we want an election. We'll do what we want to do. Yeah, right now you can. But then you're hurting the rest of the country. Future. Let me now show you a video here that was made some time ago. And I believe this video will tell you what was happening. And let's watch it together, folks. And then I'll show you another. I think the first one is about Dr. Weah and the people coming in the garbage situation. Then I will show you another video during Madam Salif's time, what some of the things they were trying to do at the time. Let's watch this video, folks. Sam Sinto, Liberian Public Radio.
This market is Monrovia's main trading area. Thousands of people come here every day to buy fresh food, clothes, and household goods. But traders say authorities have not been collecting the waste. And for more than 6 months, garbage has been piling up.
We, the wheel pushers, we have nowhere to pass. It's becoming more and more difficult to make our way through the markets as mounds of garbage continue to grow, blocking pathways.
Some are putting the blame on President George Weah.
This new government is not doing anything. President Weah is only there for himself. He told us he came for change, for hope, but this is change for dirt.
Liberia is still recovering from civil wars between 1989 and 2003, which destroyed the country's infrastructure. An Ebola outbreak from 2014 to 2016 also devastated the economy. Its economy has slumped because of falls in the prices of its main exports, iron ore and rubber. And city officials say they just don't have enough resources to manage the waste. But Liberia's economy is starting to recover, and authorities have promised to clean up the market. But some here aren't convinced, and they say they'll begin protesting if officials do not keep their word. Philip Owera, TRT World. This market is Monrovia's main trading area. Thousands of people come here every day to buy fresh food, clothes.
That is the video from Dr. Weah turn now. Let's go now and watch the video from Madam Salif term and then see if we can bring this thing to a close here very, very quickly. Folks, Samson to Liberian Public Radio.
After 14 years of war, not only was Liberia's economy a mess, so were its streets. A year ago, a new effort got underway to help local communities like Congo Township in the capital Monrovia create new jobs by cleaning up their garbage.
Before the ILO project, there was no dumping site. The Congo Township was dirty, and the people were used to burying their dirt or using the backyard to put dirt and whatsoever it is.
Every week, Michael Zoko comes to collect garbage from the local primary school. Costing less than $1 a week, the service helps to keep the school a healthy environment for the children.
I think it's very good. I highly appreciate it, and because it is reasonable for us and it keeps the place clean.
For Zoko, it's meant his own children no longer have to go without and can start the school day on a full stomach.
I take the money and I pay rent, support my children, buy food in the house. It's not expensive, my people then.
Zoko works for a privately run small enterprise that the International Labour Organization helped to get started with business training, access to start-up loans and equipment. 1 year on, Zoko's boss, community leader Abba Sharif, has seen his business expand for the better.
In 1 year, we have seen a lot of improvements, such as expansion of the job, the workers increasing, and more community benefits.
Life has also improved for Zoko's family. His wife, Martaline, has been able to buy the ingredients and equipment to set up a small cookie-making business. With funding from the Dutch government, so far the ILO has helped 10 enterprises across Monrovia set up collecting waste door to door from households and businesses. They work in partnership with the Monrovia City Corporation, which transports the yellow containers from each township to the new dump site.
The training we learn from ILO, they talk about burning the waste. We shouldn't burn the waste. We shouldn't bury the waste. And we should come and talk to our customer to tell them how to take care of the waste, how to treat them, how we'll go and take the garbage from the private homes and the business area.
The women now employ 23 people in their waste collection business here in Somalia Road Township. It may be small scale, but the potential for this public-private partnership to grow and to be sustainable is great. 5 enterprises who took start-up loans have already begun paying them off. But challenges remain. In this market in downtown Monrovia, there are still traders who don't collect their garbage.
We are going to clear all that waste and bring in the skip buckets and put them there so that the rest of the marketers can dump their waste into that bucket for them to be free of environmental problem.
Some traders think the scheme should be compulsory for everyone, particularly householders who are reluctant to pay for the service. But for now, it remains voluntary, and it's up to the MCC representatives to persuade the community to sign up.
The government of Liberia, the City Corporation, and ILO.
Beyond the obvious benefits of giving the local community a cleaner and healthier environment, the scheme is also generating decent jobs, helping Liberia on the road to recovery. After 14 years of war, not only was Liberia's economy a mess,
Folks, Samson told LeBron Public Radio. I want to thank you all again for tuning in to LeBron Public Radio. Folks, don't disrespect me. Because you see me wearing Papa, then you think that, hey, no. I tell you what a salaryman will tell you. He said, you tell the salaryman, my man, I told him, and he said, yeah. Now, come on, boy. Let's measure from the shoulder up and see who's the taller. Samson told. Folks, I'm very serious, and I want to thank all of you again for tuning in to LeBron Public Radio. We're now going to open the line up for a conversation, comment, whatever you want to talk about. Just give me a call here, and then we will talk about it. My number up there is here right now. Samson told LeBron Public Radio. Yes, my number up there, 916-533-2048. Give me a call and ask your question. Let me put my number up there as well, 916 533 2048. That's my number. Give me a call and see how far we're gonna go. But on a very serious note, these are things that Liberians all over the world can contribute. And this is one of the things, and I don't even want to touch that subject. Dual citizenship. Subject matter. And I will come back. I will come to that maybe Friday or so, where I will have a discussion on that, because I think it's a joke. But I'm not gonna discuss it tonight. But give me a call, 916-533-2048, and give me a view on this here. Especially the two subject matter that I've talked about. In fact, I'm not gonna limit you to any particular issues. Just give me a call and express yourself. Why you think what I'm talking about? I follow it. Tell me so. I don't mind that. See, one thing about me, I'm not old enough to learn. I can still learn. I'm still learning. Come and teach me. Come and teach me. Help me, educate me, disabuse me. Do whatever you have to do, but teach me. Samson told LIBERIA Public. So let's go on. While I'm waiting, let's go on and talk some more stuff about other issues. Folks, things that are happening in Liberia right now. Oh my goodness. Anyway, things that are happening in Liberia, you think, but why is it that we continue to face these things here from time to time? What's the reason? What is the reason? I don't know. I can't tell you, say this is the particular reason why we're facing these, but I know we're having issues. We're having issues, and these are issues that we all need to this is the government of the Republic of Liberia. For me, there should be no. I've been hearing about the demonstration and what have you. I'm not in favor of that. But the people have the right to demonstrate, and the government said the other day they've been lenient too much. This is the last time people demonstrate. You can't. What you would do when people ready to demonstrate? You would go to beat people from the street. You can't do that. That's not your nature. Why you even want to discuss that? Why you want to bring those up and force these people to force your hand to be violent when you know you're not a violent person? So what was it? You got people here going on Facebook demanding for you to be tough and things like that. This is what I got to say about that. Back in the 80s, mid 80s or so, there was a fight, boxing. What's his name? Joe Frazier has a son. I think his name was Marvin Frazier. And he was going against one of the big guy. What's this guy? Big guy. He was a heavyweight champion here for Larry Holmes. And Larry Holmes, it doesn't matter who you are. You come in front of him, he will just whoop you. That's how it was. So Larry Holmes and Marvin Frazier challenged Larry Holmes. So they got in a ring, and Joe Frazier was the trainer for Marvin Frazier. And Joe Frazier, too, was just a good fighter. He didn't care. You get in the ring where he will whoop you. But he's older than, by the time, Larry Holmes came in, Joe Frazier, then they were out. So he stood by his son. And you know how the boxing, before they start, they got to do the stare down, look at each other's eyes and things like that. So when they got there, Marvin, look at the older brother, who is Larry Holmes. He didn't want to look at Larry Holmes in the face. He looked at him down. So Larry Holmes was staring straight at him. And the father got upset. Left her hair. He moved her hand, the hand dropped. So he said, okay, I will look at you for my son. And started staring. That's Joe Frazier, who was not a boxer at the time. Started staring at Larry Holmes for his boy. And of course, Larry Holmes whooped the kid, and it was bad. But I just thought that the reason I'm bringing this one up is that people feel like Dr. Weah is not tough enough. Dr. Weah doesn't he allow a lot of people to be in his government who doesn't trust it. So they want to be tough for Dr. Weah. You can't do that. These things, if it's not in him, you're not gonna make him to be a violent person. You're not gonna make him to start hurting people's children. Don't do that. These things are not necessary. These things are not necessary. Remember, Dr. Weir and CDC will not be in power for life. Okay? So when you do these things to people, they will come back and do the same thing. It was it not a CDC party that was wanted ailing out at one time? Well, that's not a same CDC that was all over demonstration. So when people are demonstrating, here's the thing that I keep saying to my brothers and sisters from the CDC side. If you were successful doing certain things that brought you to power, what make you think that other people look at you and say, oh, the man did a thing, I can do the same thing? They will repeat the same thing. And this is why we're saying that now that you are in power, allow the civilized tendencies to take root. Don't have pay agent looking for enemy of the state when you're not quite prepared to be ready tomorrow. Because the CDC will not stay in power for life. And you will be surprised some radical will comes in. Once he comes in to the leadership, what are you going to do then when he starts repeating what you want Dr. Weir to do? Is that when you're going to cry the man is violent? No. The police chief and those that are there, they know what they're doing. If people are demonstrating and they say, well, let them demonstrate because they have the freedom. They're trying to teach all of us so that the next government, the international community, will make sure the next government that comes and says, when CDC was here, they ain't beat people children. We're not going to tolerate that kind of nonsense. Not that we're going to encourage, those of us that have these mic and things that will continue to say, you cannot push Dr. Weir out of that office by means other than election. Unless the Senate or the representative are going to impeach him. If you're not, then let him stay. But you can't stay and say we're going to remove you by protest. That's wrong. That's not the way to go. You can protest, but you cannot protest for the removal of a president. That's undemocratic, and those of us consider ourselves liberal, progressive, will not support these kinds of ideas. We support your right to exercise your right to demonstrate, but to your demonstration, the demonstration must come with responsibility. You can't sit in some sort of a corner somewhere safe and send children out there to start something that you yourself is not going to be part of it. So, but at the same time, we're going to continue to tell the sedition himself, don't say Dr. Weir is not a strong leader. Don't say that. That's not right to say either. Because then what you're doing, you look at that. After all, everybody was on air that time. The next day, we're not going to allow. Well, what are you going to do? You're going to say people will not demonstrate again? When you have already announced to the international community at the UN that you're the most liberal government, have allowed people freedom to demonstrate, then all of a sudden you're going to put stop to it. Why you bring up things that you're not able to handle? For what reason? It's ridiculous. Eugene Namwe should not have even touched that stuff. No reason. People want to demonstrate. Liberians themselves, they're not stupid. They're not going to sit there for people to come and ruin their lives. The June 7th demonstration, it was the right time. And you saw no violence because Liberians do not want violence. So you think even if they say we're going to demonstrate for Dr. Weir to be removed, why Dr. Weir removed? They say we're going to stay in the street. Okay. How many streets we got in Monroe? That every street that will occupy, you want to stay in the street, stay in the street. It raining anyway, a rainy season. You stay in the rain 1 or 2 times, cold will catch you. That cold will take you home. So leave them alone. But when you go over there and start blocking people, start resisting, bringing water can, all those kinds of stuff, then you embolden these people to do more. Because now they have put you in a place of challenge. There's no reason. And then the little meager money that you're supposed to pay people, now you're going to be spending on security. That's my take. It's up to you. It's up to you. Whatever the government wants to do, it's up to them. Okay? So I'm not gonna go deep into that, but I just want people to know that violence would not solve any issue. you want Dr. Weah out. I am not a member of CDC. So the next election, I'm going to vote against CDC. There's no question asked. But it must be done properly. Register your party. Put the standard bearer out. Put them against Dr. Weah. And then ask Dr. Weah, come and get your whooping. And let's do it through the ballot box. Not by going and sitting in the street until president resign. And then the other people, member of CDC, oh, the president, he's weak. Why would you even say that of somebody who you're supposed to be a friend? Why would you say that? Publicly say he's my friend, but he's weak. What kind of friend are you? If you're my friend, you think I'm weak, you call me. Say something, you're acting weak. And I will listen to you. But you're going to go public and tell people say something too weak. Then after that, you want me to come talk to you? No. I'll tell you I'm not weak. By me not talking to you again, that means I'm not weak. You can't do those things. We have to think twice. Okay, before doing the public engagement, we have to think twice. We can't just get up and make these kinds of pronouncements. Okay? Because what you're saying, you're also affecting your relationship with lots and lots of people. Lots and lots of people. And you're not in the world by yourself. You can't do everything by yourself. You're going to need somebody. Okay? So in as much as I don't support many things except for roles, but I don't support many things Dr. Weah and his people are doing. But I'm not going to preach, and I will not sit on this platform to say, yes, go demonstrate until the president leaves. Even if he's guilty of anything, we have law. If you think Dr. Weah is guilty of certain things, take him to court. Or convince your senators, or convince your representative to bring impeachment charges against him. We have a constitution. Follow the constitution. You can't say one area you want to apply the constitution if it's in your favor, the other area you don't want to touch it if it's not in your favor. No, it doesn't work like that. Everything is together. You don't pick and choose. This I'm not going to support. This I'm not going to support, to sit here and say, yes, y'all go demonstrate because Dr. Weah is not doing good. No. I know Dr. Weah and people are not doing good. I know that. But I have a choice. I can continue to talk and ask them to do good. And when they do some good thing, I talk about it. If they do some bad thing, I talk about it. But at the same time, I must preach peace. I must preach that anybody you want that office, don't come through the back door. The days of coups are over. There ain't no army man gonna take over government in Liberia anymore. They're done. No more. Everybody's civilized now. So if you want the president to be removed, let's go to the ballot box and vote the people that we want. I want Liberty Party to be the party in government next time. Vote for Liberty Party, and we'll give you the best. We will give you the best. But don't come and throw this thing out there. We want the president to be removed. You have a voting right. You got what, about 4 or 5 years from now? If those of you in the diaspora, you're all Liberians. Samson told Liberian Public Radio, what's your name, where you're calling from, what's on your mind?
Samson, thank you so much for having me on your platform. Thank you for your United States. I really enjoy your show tonight.
Thank you.
I'm James Stowe. I'm James Stowe calling from the Texas. Concerning the protest, at least our people and the supporter of this protest or the organizers try to understand what they're doing. We all don't like the way things going in Liberia. We don't like it. And mostly our family for their suffering, struggling all of the time. We don't. For me personally, I don't take George Weah, but sometimes he does things that is not in the interest of the country. But going on the street protesting for George Weah to step down, I think as Liberia we are going the wrong way. And if we continue to do that, if we continue to say those things, the international community is watching us. The international community never voted for George Weah. Liberia make that decision. So if we want to get George Weah out, it's not by violence or by any means of protest. We should wait for 2023 and all of us can vote George Weah out. Every one of us can vote George Weah out. Getting on the street, protesting George Weah, come down, George Weah step down December 30, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And the more thing that surprised me, the organizer of this protest, these are people that claim to be educated. These are people that claim that they have degrees. You know, people always say that the educated one are the most fool and the most stupid people. And with this, it proves it. It's proof it. You know, they call themselves educated people. They call themselves degree holder, but they are the most stupid people. How can they kind of organize? I mean, it's wrong. Liberia, we should start reason. We should sit down and think. Are we about to do the right thing? We suffered for 14 years for war. We don't want for anything to disturb again. We have peace in our country. There are other countries in the world that don't have peace. For all we have peace. Even if we don't get it, but once you go to bed, safe and sound, it's necessary. You said, I thank you. But organizing a protest of certain presidents, step down, I mean, to me, it doesn't make sense. And for those, the young people that embracing them, you know, putting everything together, going with Henry Costa, they let George that step down. They need to realize. And this is what I need to tell us. Henry Costa and other people, they have families. Henry Costa's family in Liberia. If anything goes south, Henry Costa had nothing to lose. That guy will get on the plane and leave. For instance, the June 7th protest, people children never went to school. But Henry Costa's son was in school. Henry Costa's family has. What about the low men? What about the poor people that don't even have it? Those people don't know how much for a bag of rice. They don't know how much. They don't know how much for scratch card. But the poor people are the ones suffering. And these are the poor people we're crying for. So they should take care, they should sit there and think. Getting on the street, George Weah said that campaign. I don't want for anything to happen. Then I start running up and down. The food are already there. Then you come and put people on the street. You already get the food. Then you come and get on the street. Come and yell, yeah. People, for once, we need to find, we need to find common sense. That's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother. We appreciate it. Again, this is Samson to LeBron Public Radio. You heard a gentleman expressing himself, which, for me, I think I also do not support it, but I support their right to demonstrate that the government should not, and I say it again, the government should not hinder any kinds of demonstration. To block demonstration from happening, that's not good. I just want to point something out here very quickly. From Front Page Africa, and this is on there, they said, Liberia, student taking lesson on a leaking roof in Bonn Major High School. Beaufort High School, my people, Beaufort High School in Bonn County. Beaufort High School that put us some of the major Liberian educators. Beaufort High School in Bonn County. They say it's leaking, and you had a picture up there. They got bucket all in a classroom. Beaufort High School, one of the best high school for country people in Liberia. Beaufort High School is leaking. It's leaking. You go all around here in the United States. Some of the best engineers, some of the best accountants, some of the best in these American professionals, they're from Beaufort High School. Beaufort High School is leaking. And you have a picture up here to show Beaufort High School is leaking. I said Beaufort High School. I don't say Town High School. I said Beaufort High School. One of the best. Just St. Patrick for we the country people. I just read that and then it just really hit me hard. Because I know some of the students from Beaufort High School. Beaufort High School has produced some of the best in Liberia. Don't tell me the alumni of that school don't know that this school is leaking. Ah, my people. Buffett High School is leaking, oh. All right, let me go on. Okay. Yeah, man. What? This is Buffett High School. You way into time you hear about the school. You in Monrovia, you hear about the school. BWI student coming from Buffett High School, some of them. LU student, some of them from Buffett High School. The best. Buffett High School in Bond County, when they put up people, national exam, Buffett High School, they're down to the bottom. And then the school leaking. Anyway, that's here and there. But anyway, let me go on. I was going to be closing up, folks. I just saw it here, and I know I looked at it. I said maybe that what school is it? And they say Buffett High School. Now in Monrovia, this is how I consider back in the 70s in Monrovia. We have GW Gazing, Country People's School, are calling to me, not you, but me. GW Gazing, Country People Elementary School, Montana Newport Junior High, Country People at Junior High, Totman High, Country People High School in Monrovia, the LU, Country People. That's how I classify. The rest is up to you. That means something to say so, not you or that me. Okay? But no, to have this thing here, people you're from Buffett High School, you need to do something, man. And you're not broke. You're from Buffett High School, you're not broke. I know some of them here in Sacramento, you're not broke. You got money. Buffett High School get your water. Buffett High School put roof over your head. Buffett High School get you the primary education. So you're not broke. So you want to sit down here for Buffett High School in war over now. Buffett High School leaking. What kind of business is this? I beg you, man. But anyway, let me go on. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. So once again, let me go back to the demonstrators, folks. The people that want to demonstrate, they have the right to demonstrate. But with that right comes with responsibility. The way you choose to utilize the responsibility is up to you. But what I would say to the government is that you make sure you protect property, you make sure you protect lives, but at the same time, you don't put roadblock on the way for people to demonstrate. They want to demonstrate, give them a break. Let them show you where they want to go and demonstrate. They must identify area where they're going to, what the street they're going to walk in. And that street should be protected, just like you did before. It's rainy. The people say, we're not going to get out of the street until the president comes. I say, okay, y'all sit down there. Now, if they come to the executive mansion and want to block the process, they want to block the Liberian government from going to work, that's a different issue. You don't remove them forcibly. You tell the international community, let them know that they are blocking your entrance. And those who are responsible will be contacted and they will remove themselves quickly. Because here's the thing here. Some of the people, like I said, one of the smart brain behind this COP, and it's Heron Costa. There's no question. Heron Costa is one of the smart young men in Liberia right now. I can give it to you like that. And besides Dr. William, Heron Costa is the most popular person in Liberia. But where is he? He's here in the United States studying. You think American government will allow Heron Costa to stay here when people children die when he calling for that? So Heron Costa is quite aware of this. He's not dumb. So I'm sure. But they will do all they can to push the limit. They will push the envelope. The government must not respond. And these people that are preaching sedition that are going on air preaching for government to be tough. Wrong idea. Wrong idea. Wrong idea. Dr. Weah came here and make a claim at the UN, and we all jump all over it. Oh, why you can't complain about people? Yeah, there was no, because my complaint at the time was this. He said he allowed freedom. He said he have allowed X, Y, and Z, all of the good things. That on the other hand, he's saying people are doing X, Y, and Z. They don't match. That's what I'm saying. But right now, you have international community in Liberia. The people start suddenly over there blocking the government from going to work. Fine. You tell the United Nations they have representative. You tell the American government they have representative. And this is why I'm saying this. And I'll give you one parable from Toll Town, of course. Back in the days, according to the story, there's one guy they call him Pesro. But he ain't like confusion business. But they can't do nothing to him. No witch can kill. You can't even kill him. That's the first thing. Because we were worse than the witchcraft. So he married. Somebody said, oh, Peslo, too lazy, man. He went to the wife. So he started complaining. Nobody wanted to listen to him. So he said, okay, that's fine. So he started telling the houses that have thatch. You know, thatch when they dry. He tell the house, he said, thatch. You better tell the man to bring my woman. The way you're quick to burn. When you're ready to burn, no water can pull you out. You better go tell that woman, that man to bring my woman. Nobody listen, touch them and stuff. So he started talking to the goat and the cow there. He said, goat, when any trouble start, people come to a judge case that you're the first people they can kill. You tell the man to get my woman, I don't want any confusion coming here, then people start killing you. Goat there was not saying anything. He went to cow. He said, the way when big thing happen, they say, oh, yeah, before the case can be finished, you don't kill cow. They ain't kill you yet. Tell that man to bring my woman. They ain't listening. So when the man right here, he started demonstrating in the town. They couldn't do nothing to him. They decided, okay, you catch him. They grab him. Took him to the water side, put one big rock on his, tied the rock on his chest, threw in the water according to the story. I wasn't there, but I could have. Threw in the water. They threw him in the water. The people are dancing, coming to town. Peslo was sitting in the middle of the town. He said, what happened? What happened to Peslo? He said, what they would do to him now? They told the fool that got Peslo's wife, they said, get it, man, his wife now. That's one thing about complaining. And there's a saying back home. In other words, the person who complains doesn't mean that person lazy. You who complain, you're not lazy, but you're laying the groundwork. So that when time comes tomorrow, they'll say, but the man brought complaint, what you want us to do now? Aha! Government must not be the first to throw stone. Government must be the person to protect life. If people come and block Dr. We are entrance into the executive mansion and things like that, you can make yourself away, put police people around, let Dr. We are go to work. The people excuse themselves. They want to sit there until Dr. We are leave office. That was 4 and 5.5 years from now, they can sit. That's their country. Let them bring armchair and sit down. They must cook in the street. Let them do whatever they want to do as long as they don't damage property. They have the right. And that right must be protected, whether they're against you or not, for future. If you don't protect the right today, tomorrow they will not. Nobody will protect your right. So there are those sedition that continue to go on air and say this government weak. This government, there are people in our government that don't like the president. It's nothing about liking. Perhaps the police directors and those that are being accused, they've been reading the Constitution. Perhaps they felt that those people who demonstrate have the constitutional right to demonstrate. And therefore, they will go by the rules and laws set by that Constitution. Therefore, they don't go around blocking people from here and there as long as you don't break the law. So you can't sit here in your comfortable Sacramento house and say the president is weak. That's something we should not permit. why we will not sit here for people to call for demonstration to remove the president. If you call for demonstration to remove the president, what part of the Constitution, what article are you applying? There's an article in the Constitution that said that you have the right to demonstrate. But I think your right does not, the Constitution does not give you the right to remove somebody from office if that person has not been found guilty or have not been impeached. The Constitution have segment. Aaron Costa, then I will try to invite this man. He's very smart, very smart. I like to engage him. Because if you want to do these kinds of stuff, challenge the whole of Republic of Liberia. If you think Dr. Weah is doing something that is not right, find an article, find something that you can take Dr. Weah and the government to court. And let's see what the court stands on these things. If the court will say, look, this is not private business, you as an individual Liberian cannot take the government to court, go through your representative, you mount a campaign. The protest should not be about Dr. Weah removal. The protest should be about the representative, those that are representing you. They're the one you talk to. They're the ones you bring in an article on impeachment against the president. Not by you sitting down and say, I want this president to be removed. Then I think if that is the statement, then you are also in violation of the Constitution, I would think. You have the right to demonstrate, but your right to demonstrate should not infringe on the rights of those who are not in the favor of that, those that are not in favor of the demonstration. Dr. Weah was elected. He didn't come to power through the back door. I don't agree with you on many things. There are people that are in his government that I think that need to be removed, fired. He's not doing it, so I'm not in favor of those kinds of stuff. But as a liberal progressive, there's no way I'm going to support something that calls for an unconstitutional behavior. Because you can demonstrate. You have the right to demonstrate. You have the right to stay up, to demonstrate and call for the heaven to be open. That's your right. And you can tell heaven, if you don't open, I'm not getting out of the street. That's your right. You and the weather will decide. You and the rain and the sun in Liberia will decide. You and malaria will talk about it. You and headache will talk about it. Government cannot tell you not to say, if you get headache, that's your problem. But for you to say, people elected Dr. Weah, and then you say, I'm going to circumvent that process because I believe Dr. Weah and his people are corrupt. I believe Dr. Weah and his people, they are not carrying out the mandate of the people. Go back to the people and inform them, educate them that Dr. Weah is not performing to the standard, that Dr. Weah is not carrying out the process of the mandate that the people gave him. And let the people say, oh, wow. And of course that you smile up again. Thank you for telling us. Oh, yeah, the next election will kick the man out. He ain't doing nothing. That's how you go about it. Let you continue to educate the people on what it is that the government is not doing, on what it is that you think the government, the people themselves, they know already they're suffering. They know. You need to continue to preach peace, but in the process of reminding Liberians that they have made a mistake, if that's what you think, by electing Dr. Weah and his people to office, if that's what you think. But for you to say, I'm going to demonstrate, I'm going to sit in the street of Monrovia until the president leaves that office. To the government Liberia, I say, welcome, sit down. 4.5 years or 5 years from now, you can move. When Dr. Weir has been defeated by Liberty Party. Samson told. By Liberty Party. Then the people who demonstrating 5 years from now, when Liberty Party comes to power, they can leave. But the government should not say you cannot demonstrate. No. That we also are not going to preach for that. So both sides need to find exactly what it is that they need to do. All right? This is Samson told LeBron Public Radio on a very, very serious note. On a very serious note. We have to be careful. The country of Liberia is our life. When the Civil War was going on in a place here, some of us got going to radio, TV station over there in Akron, Ohio. If you go and do some research, you'll see some of us on the TV station talking about it. Going from meeting to meeting, wanting to make sure Liberians are safe. And those brothers and sisters themselves were being rooted out of their comfort of Liberia. Going to Togo. Some of them couldn't even speak French. Going to Africa. They got no French background. They ain't got no relative over there. Going to Ghana. No relative. Going to Nigeria. Some of our old people didn't even come back to die in their own villages. Those things are still painful. We cannot afford ourselves to have issues like that. If Dr. Weir is not doing anything that you think that is not good for the country, wait till next election. You can make noise. You can criticize. You have, like Honorable Henry Costa has the biggest platform. He opened a radio station. 1,000 people listen. Continue to preach. Continue to point it out to Liberian people that this president is not doing this, is not doing that. Don't get tired. But when you put yourself in this type of position, you did it before and you were successful. Take time. In Liberia, you know what they're saying. They stick you looking in, something that stick also looking in you. Like I told Tom, what were you back in 1985? It's the same thing here. You go approach Dr. Weir. He has also have supporters. There are those who, in fact, you hear me saying that there are those already asking Dr. Weir to be tough. So sooner or later, they'll start acting tough for Dr. Weir. Is that what we want? Is that what we want? Is that what we want in the street of Monrovia? Is that what we want? Those are things we need to consider. I have a video here. I'm going to replay it. Some guy, sometimes the comical situation in Liberia make you laugh. Some guy was on Facebook. He will flog Henry, what's his name? Yaga Koluba. He said, the next time I see Yaga Koluba causing my president, I will flog him. I have the video. He said you were flogging. First of all, you think Yaga Koluba is a little baby, you go and jump in or go for it and you'll be in? Or because you know your strength so high. First of all, Yaga Koluba is a representative. He carry security guy. You think they will let you put your hand? the guy, one of the press men asked him, he said, you think they will let you fight? They will be. He said, no, they're not gonna get me. I said, I will flog him. Folks, on a very serious note, we cannot continue to live like that. We're not doing ourselves a favor. Okay? The situation in Liberia, I know it's bad, but we can turn it around. You can't bring Nigerians, Ghanaians, Sierra Leoneans, Ivorians to come and help you fix your country. And look at the dual citizenship. Instead of these people to take the opportunity and allow Liberians to say it doesn't matter who you are, as long as you true Liberian, come in and help. They don't do it. They say, yeah, you can have dual citizenship, but you can't hold no position here. First of all, I think they're scared. Because as I'm always saying, if these people have nothing to contribute, they don't want you to remove them from office either. So they will do everything in their power to make sure Liberian people keep you away. It's not about the position, but why you would want to make somebody from Town, Samson Town, born in Town, grew up in Town, grew up in the street of Monrovia, then because I want to be president, you say you can't be president because you're somebody else. Who are you? You got to be rule. Thanks so I you say no I'm more Togo you go. And when I say he said that you in swat to again say you go. I go number one you know. Samson too. I love it when I do that. Folks, let me get out of here before I get in trouble with my manager right now. Let me get out. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful afternoon, folks. On a Wednesday afternoon. Before I leave, let me make the plea to all of you again. Folks, again, we want to thank all of you for tuning in. I want to thank all of you again for tuning in to Liberian Public Radio. But on a very serious note, folks, Liberian Public Radio is here where you can come in and express yourself. This is a platform we ask you to come and listen to us when we appreciate, not that you don't have anything to do, but please, when you're going to be posting things on Liberian Public Radio, let them be decent. Because Facebook has rules. And if you don't follow those rules, it affects all of us. We don't want to go through these kinds of stuff. So please, if you're going to be posting something on Liberian Public, let it be decent. Because this is what Liberian Public Radio is all about. We don't cause people. We're here for discussion. Intellectual platform, we call it. That of a certain you look, things are happening. Samson told Mr. So will talk more on that because he has the power, because he is the CEO. I just thought that I tried to give you a little heads up because he will not miss his words. Mr. So is a man of character. He doesn't miss words. So he will be talking to you. Samson told Liberian Public, before I leave, let me do this.
Don't disrespect me because I get on papa. You will not disrespect because you see me in papa. Don't disrespect me because I get on papa. You will not disrespect because I will on donga. We not broken, but we can make it happen. We not millionaire, but we can keep it popping. We not broken, we can make it happen. We not millionaire, but we can keep it popping. I go, back then I go.
I also want to take the opportunity to say thank you to Mr. Francis Zionso and Mr. Nathaniel Cryport, and of course, Mr. Mazula Gizi, who had gone out to the journalist convention, Liberian Journalist Convention over in Minnesota, and put us on the map once again. They have the ability. And I think very shortly here you will see some of the good things Liberian Public Radio doing and continue to do. So I just want to make that announcement. I want to thank all of you for doing that. We appreciate it. I also want to say here to all of you that this is a wonderful, wonderful platform. Please come on and talk to us. The issue about the waste management issue here, nobody's trying to degrade anyone. I'm just saying these are things you can do to improve the situation in Liberia. The fire issue that I pointed out earlier, these are not that I know, and there's somebody wrote here, you don't know all the things why you can't come home. Well, it's not like that. It's not that simple. And this is why I keep telling the government of Liberia not to make the mistakes of the past. Because if you let these young, smart, intelligent, intellectual Liberians, highly qualified, you let them take root in these people's country, and they start doing good. And you don't encourage them when they're young. At a certain age, they say, I'm not coming right now until I get my retirement. Because you have to get a retirement before you get out. After spending certain time with a company, you want your retirement. Because you get retirement when you get a librarian, you get paid. And that's what we encourage in the Liberian government, to get these young people when their feet is not quite grounded into the retirement stuff yet. Get them. They're educated. They're smart. They're intelligent. Hardworking. Still young. They will help you. Look at the football team based in Liberia. Even all over the world. You see them call something to come play football? You want to keep learning anymore? They will not call me. They will call the 19, 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old. They're not going to call people like something to. Because they still have the ability to do things that of course, I'm only 25-year-old. I can still do this thing. But on a very serious note, there are certain things they can do. I can't do. That's the things I'm saying. Samson told Liberian Public Radio, folks, it's been a wonderful, wonderful time. We'll say good night to all of you, and thank you very much for tuning into Liberian Public Radio. Not that you don't have anything to do, but please come in and talk to us. Let's have a conversation. Samson told Liberian Public Radio. It's been a wonderful, wonderful evening. We'll say good night to all of you. Good night, folks.
Why, yeah, I didn't know you